Okay.
Yeah, then Amanda can hear us a lot better, right, Amanda?
Yes, that is better.
Is it better? Okay.
Yeah. So
I
for
could
the
hear-
recording,
Yeah, it's a lot better.
yeah, for the recording, you have to talk into the microphone or the recording won't hear you.
Oh, and we're on air. Okay, so I guess we can get started. We can call the meeting to order. Attendees, we have Amanda Matuzik, Jonathan Marr, Laura Robertson, and myself, Carol Carey, and Linda in the back there. So approval of minutes, we don't have enough people to approve the minutes, so we will push that out until next month. Privilege of the floor, I don't think there was anyone for privilege of the floor, right?
Yeah, I didn't receive anything as of 4. I'm just checking to see if we got any last minute things.
Okay,
I don't see anything.
okay. So we move on to new business. Any new business?
We'll probably have some more new business for you at the next meeting, but this meeting is mostly just old business.
Okay, so I guess this will be quick. We're moving right through. The next is the discussion items, and so I think we had a few discussion items. The first was the ShopRite Plaza walkthrough, and Laura attached the comments. Laura, Chris, and myself did a walkthrough of the ShopRite Plaza a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laura, did these go out to the,
Yeah, so in the packet I attached the memo to remember how I was telling you guys that there's 3 owners? So the first email is to the owner that's closest to town hall, like on the lowest end of the property. And then the second attachment is the email to the, oh, I didn't put that one in there. Did I?
which one?
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, the first email is to Starbucks. So that's only 3 pages long. And then the second email is to the lower, here, I'll bring it up, is to the lower people. But essentially, we've targeted 2 of the owners so far to fix up the trees. And then the third one will be ShopRite, the store itself, which I'll tackle after we get these two ones taken care of.
And have we heard back from any of them since you sent out the?
Yeah, so Chase Bank is the one that is the lower level one,
Mhm.
and they are working on it. They actually aren't attending the planning board meeting this week because they're working on it, I think.
Okay.
I think that they're working with the owner. So Chase told me that they're going to do part of the replanting plan, and then the owner is going to be doing part of the replanting plan. But my understanding is they're preparing a planting plan for us to review and approve, because you can see in the emails, I actually didn't put this in the Starbucks email, but the Starbucks guy called me today, and both of them are like, "Well, should we just replant ash?"
Oh,
And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
I mean, that is what it says on the plans, but no, because that's just going to be a waste of money because they'll just die.
yeah.
So, so I think they both know now that, I gave them a list of trees that they could use. And, so Chase Bank is going to plant the trees in the area of the ATM, like on this map up there. That's what Chase is going to do. And then the owner, Chase is coordinating with the owner. The owner will do the long, how these were all removed, but we're all dead.
Right.
So the owner would be doing that long strip of
Stretch
trees.
along that little road there.
I think that's how they divided that.
Okay, but we don't know what they're gonna plant.
No, they're supposed to come up with something and then submit it to us.
Okay, so they'll submit it to us before they do the planting and we get to approve it. Okay.
Yeah, and today I was talking to Starbucks, and Starbucks was like, "Well, we don't really own the plaza." And I was like, "Well, I don't really care if you or the owner fixes them, but somebody has to." And so he said that he was going to work on it and send me a planting plan. The ones with Starbucks that I care about the most are probably the ones why we get so many comments.
Right.
Is those 5 dead ones as you're driving in.
Mhm.
So when I was talking to him, I was like, these are the ones that you have to fix.
Yeah.
Like we'll work with you on some of the other stuff, but these have to be fixed.
Yeah, and you said when we went through, the final count was like over 20, right? Or even more.
Yeah,
than
it's
that.
more than
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot.
You know, it's spread across 3 owners, but yeah, there's a lot of dead or missing trees in that area.
Now, what about, we had also noticed that the sidewalk came up to the road, but then it was never developed on the other side of the road. Are they gonna?
I did put that in the I put that in my email to them. Those are the things that they're negotiating with the owner on.
Okay,
So I don't know if they'll put that in their plan or not.
okay.
That's at like a complete streets thing. They'll keep pushing that. Although the tree council's the one that noticed it.
Right, right. So
But
it was just kind of funny that the sidewalk came
Mhm.
and then across the road where you'd think it would continue.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, because like you said, Laura, the most of the complaints are along those Starbucks trees.
yeah, it's like the entrance to Starbucks. I know that it's expensive and annoying, and they don't want to do it, but in the end, like that's their customers that are driving down that road to, and they, whether or not they own the plaza or not, they have a vested interest in making it look professional.
Exactly.
Laura, do we know why the trees died? Is it because they're all ash or some other?
Well, not all of them were ash, but a lot of them were ash.
But the Starbucks ones weren't, were they? Or
The
were they?
Starbucks ones were
Were
ash.
Okay.
But some of the
Okay.
ones that we noticed that were dead or dying, like especially on the ShopRite Plaza parcel, the ShopRite parcel, some of them were like oaks and spruces,
Mm.
but the majority on these 2 parcels were ash.
I know they mulch heavily on all those trees in that plaza. You know, they mound up the mulch quite a bit.
You also,
I don't know if that contributes to it, but
You also sent them the letter on proper mulching,
Mhm.
right?
So I put that in my email to them, and I sent them our letter on proper mulching techniques
okay.
because
Oh,
I
good.
said that was one of the tree council's concerns.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
So,
Okay, so we'll just wait to hear from those 2 groups and get through that, and then we'll work on the third owner.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, Amanda, we sent them this.
Oh, I like that. Sad.
we
tree.
made this a couple years ago.
Yeah, I like the happy tree and the sad
Good.
tree.
Yeah.
So,
I think that was from
Very good.
Saratoga. I can't remember where that came from.
okay, so anything else on ShopRite then?
No, I thought that walkthrough has been really productive. I know it took a while. You were there, Jonathan, right?
No, I didn't make
Oh,
that
you
one.
didn't? Oh, it's
Yeah.
Chris.
Chris.
Yeah, it's
and-
Chris. Yeah, it took us a while, but
Yeah, we went
It's-
through every tree on that whole
Hmm.
plaza.
it's been really helpful because I've leveraged it already on 2 owners. So,
So-
yeah.
Okay, the next are the planning projects Rivers Ledge.
Oops. So I emailed this to you guys a couple days ago. And I don't know if you remember the memo. I didn't attach the memo, but they essentially addressed almost everything in the memo. They did not want to swap out the daylilies. I don't know why.
Mhm.
Originally, they had said that they were going to switch to half daylilies, half black-eyed Susan, but then the owner was concerned about the black-eyed Susan spreading among the bed.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, well, that doesn't sound like a bad thing. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
Daylily spread too.
These little green guys. So I went through in our memo and I highlighted any place that the parking lot, like a car would be driving down something facing the river or a car would be parking.
Hmm.
And so like they added a massive amount of plants all along here. They added trees, evergreen trees, and then they added low bushes and grasses. And like, so you can see they did it all along all of the parking.
Mm. Yeah,
It's-
do that.
Everywhere that I highlighted, they added evergreens
So
and
orient
bushes.
us, the river is at
The
at
river's,
north?
yeah, the
Okay.
river's like right up
Okay,
here.
gotcha.
Yeah. So when I went through with the memo, I highlighted all these parking spaces because like the cars would turn down here,
Mhm.
and then like over here, the cars obviously would be parking like with their lights facing out.
Mhm.
So those number, and sorry for the moving around.
Hmm.
The number 23s I think are the evergreens.
Oh, good.
Bang,
They do a lot of evergreens.
number 20.
Yeah, how many 20?
Yeah, number 23s are white firs.
And how many? 40?
So they, I mean,
Does it say 40?
yes, 40 of those. They added 40 of those. They added cypress trees, Hinoki cypress. So that's another evergreen, I think, that they added. And then they added a lot of that rose fountain grass and then the American holly. Those ones were all added along the parking spots.
No, they haven't added them yet, right?
Well, they haven't planted them yet, but this is the plan that.
Right.
Oh, another thing that they added, which I really like, is they put a line of trees between the multi-use path and the power lines.
Okay.
So they've got plantings all along the multi-use path there.
It's funny because I was rowing last night and we were all looking from the river, and it still seemed like it was very open.
It is still open. They've barely started planting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bunch of the trees in the park died too, so they're going to have to replace those,
Okay.
which they will do. But
Okay.
I mean, they haven't started planting anything down towards the river.
Okay.
The only place they planted was up by the bike path.
Okay.
How big are the trees they have they're going to plant? Are they going to block their lights
Yeah,
now,
I
or you have to
think-
wait several years for them to be
No,
effective?
they're pretty big.
Yeah.
Like the white fir is 5 to 6 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
That's your black headlights.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The fountain grass is 3 gallons. So like when I go to Lowe's, I buy the 1 gallon. So 3 gallons, pretty big.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But they have planted a lot of stuff, right, Laura?
not that much.
Not that much. Okay.
They rolled out some sod right up by the buildings, right along the. But they haven't planted that much yet. I mean, they planted like 70% of the trees that they're supposed to plant in the park.
Okay.
But they still have all of the understory stuff that they were supposed to do, like all the hydrangeas,
Okay.
all the perennials. They haven't done any of that.
Okay.
And they had spring trees that they were supposed to plant, and there was some die off. So I would say they're probably back down to about like 50% of the trees that they need to plant because some of them died. And then they really haven't planted any of the understory.
Okay. Okay.
Just a lot more plants need to go there.
Okay.
I'm a little concerned because it's starting to get hot.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's not becoming the greatest time ever to plant, but they're on the hook for anything that dies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you want from us to approve this tonight? Is that-
Yeah, I mean, unless you guys had any more comments you wanted to send back to them. I didn't get any comments from the tree council from the email that I sent
Or
out.
Amy or anyone else?
I didn't. Mm-mm.
So, well, can we vote on this tonight?
You couldn't vote on it, but if you have any comments or suggestions, I could bring them back to them, or we could say that looks pretty good. Send it to the planning. The planning board's got some stuff for them, so I can send any comments you have on this to the planning board if you want me to.
Does
Laura,
anyone-
could you scroll down like so that the river area is showing?
The river area is up here.
Yeah, like the top of the drawing. Because I saw some like something that said like twin ash. Are those trees still
Those
there?
trees were to be removed because they were already dead. The places where it says twin ash are actually in the park, and that was in the original clearing plan for the park because they were going to take down the ashes because they knew that they were mostly dead. So I can, so you're probably looking at these marks up here, right? Where it
Yeah,
says
along that-
poplar, ash, willow, poplar, ash clump. Yeah,
I
these were the
noticed
trees
that.
that were removed.
Okay. All right, just as long as they're not like replanting those or planting or leaving them or.
No, they have a completely different planting plan for the park, which we reviewed and approved. They just haven't fully executed it yet.
Okay, so we don't have to approve that. That's already been
The
approved.
park plan, and yeah, we already approved the park plan.
Okay.
So because they took down extra trees when they were doing the clearing, they had to add like 100 trees to the park or something like that. It was a lot.
They took down more than they were.
They took down more than they were supposed to. Yeah, so they had to add, I think, like, I have it documented, but something like 80 extra trees to the park and another 20 like perennials, beds and things like that.
Okay.
Hurt them significantly.
Yeah, it was just funny.
I
'cause
mean-
I had a conversation with friends, and they're like, "Well, how come you don't save the old trees?" When they knew I was on
Yeah.
the tree council, I said, "We
We-
tried. we try to save the old trees."
Yeah.
We marked the old trees.
Yeah. So. Okay.
Okay, thank
So
you.
we're good with that. Okay, let's move on then to Kelt's Farm.
Yeah. So and dive into it if there's anything you want me to bring up. Yeah. So it says their buffer planting spacing is 10 feet wide, and that's up in the top here. Do you see it? And it's a mixture of white fir, hinoki cypress, and Norway spruce. To be planted 4 to 6 feet tall.
I'm sorry, where is that?
It's up in the corner. Do you see it up here?
That little teeny print there.
Yeah, you
Oh,
probably
okay.
can't read it, but that's their buffer plant spacing. It's in your packet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
I mean, it still looks like a bomb went off over there, but it's mostly because nothing's really been planted yet.
And what about the pollinator pathway?
Yeah, they haven't planted that either yet. But that plan is in the park part. The
Park.
yeah, they're adding more perennial. They only want to plant daylilies in their part. In the park, they're planting a whole bunch of different perennials.
But they only want to plant daylilies.
They've got 1,000 daylilies proposed.
Wonder why they don't want to do anything else.
I mean, okay, they split them. It's 1,072 daylilies. Half of them are Stella de Oro and half of them are Happy Ending.
Oh, boy.
We got a
We've sent
real
that comment to him
deal on
multiple times.
daylilies.
He says he likes them because they bloom for a long time.
They
They're
do.
clumping and they're. I find this to be hard to believe because deer love to eat my daylilies, but they
Mm.
find these ones to be deer resistant compared to other things that they plant. And yeah,
But no, like hydrangeas or.
no, they have hydrangea. Do they? They do not. So they have maple, serviceberry, river birch, crabapple, black gum, weeping Japanese cherry, kusa dogwood, bunch of those. Royal star magnolias, rose of Sharon's, Colorado blue spruce, the summer sweet clethra, which is really pretty
Okay.
actually. Red stem dogwood, winterberry, got a ton of winterberry, 180 of those. Gold flame spirea, crabapple, sweet spire, which is awesome. They have 295 sweet spires,
Wow.
although it is a really good plant. Junipers, 1,000 daylilies, hawthorns, Norway spruces, fountain grasses, cypress, holly. The holly they definitely added. Then they have a ton of boxwood because they really like the boxwood.
Okay.
9
That's-
bark.
And so this is in the development itself, and then we haven't seen the plan for the park.
No, we approved the plan for the
Did we?
park like a year and a half
Okay.
ago.
Okay,
Probably.
but they haven't planted that yet.
They planted about 70% of the trees,
Okay.
but I'd say about 20% of the trees that they planted died,
Okay.
which is why I'm saying they're back down to like 50% of the trees
Okay.
and none of the understory
Before Kelt's Farm.
for the park.
Okay.
For the park on River's Edge.
Oh, no. I was talking about the pollinator pathway here
At the park.
Kelt's Farm.
at Kelt's Farm.
Oh, well, Kelt's Farm and River's Edge are different.
Right.
Oh,
I
are
think
we
Carol
done
thought
with
we had-
River's
they
Ledge?
had changed.
We're on.
Oh, sorry. I was still talking about River's Ledge. I don't have a plan for Kelt's Farm. The reason I put that on here was because he's getting ready to do his final subdivision. So I wanted to get you guys out there and meet with him and come up with a plan to do the
Okay.
pollinator pathway. Yeah, sorry, I don't have a plan for that because he still hasn't submitted one.
Okay, so we have nothing for Kelt's Farm yet.
I don't have any
Okay.
plans in here for it.
Gotcha.
I put it on this discussion item because I was wondering if a couple of you guys wanted to schedule a meeting with me and the Conservation Advisory Council, and we could come up with the pollinator pathway out there.
Okay.
He wants to move a lot of it over to the Windsor Drive side because there's not as much space between the homes and the trees as we were like originally.
Mm.
Like when you're standing there, it looks like anything that you're going to do is in their backyard. So he wanted to do more of it like at the Windsor Drive stub and make it like a pocket park with a gazebo.
But I thought we were gonna have it the whole way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can do it. Yeah, we could do it the whole way.
Okay.
But I think we should meet with him out there because we don't have a plan for it yet.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we can set something up.
Sorry, I was completely on
No,
another page
sorry.
from you.
Sorry, no, I thought.
I was like,
I
I'll
did
happily read Species.
So, yeah, so let's get as many as people as we can for the Celts Farm pollinator pathway. 'Cause that, I think that would be really nice if we could have a whole
Yeah,
pollinator
I agree.
pathway. So,
Okay.
okay. Anything else? Is that
That's all I have for planning.
okay? Then I guess we move on to the reports. And we,
What day is good for a walkthrough?
Mhm.
you guys can do it next week, but I'm out of town next week on vacation.
And I'm out of town the week after.
So,
The reason, that's the reason why I'm asking.
Yeah.
yes. So if other people are available next week, you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, you can also do it without me too.
Well, but we like you there.
Yeah, he's kind of pushy guy.
Yeah.
So we can either do it this week or 3 weeks from now. Well,
Yeah, we're already Thursday, so we probably can't do it.
I mean, not this week, like next week, the week that you're gone,
Yeah.
or skip the following
following
week and then do the week after that. So, like the first week of
I
July.
mean, how soon can we,
Of course, that's like the July 4th. You'd almost rather meet with him next
What
week.
about,
if you
we-
could.
it looks, 3 weeks from now is the week of June 27th. It
Yeah.
ends on July
mhm.
1st, so it's
Yeah.
not the 4th of July week.
Yeah, I know. Then you're hitting that.
So we could do the week of June 27th.
Yes, we can do that one. Hmm.
Would people be around for that? Amanda and John?
I'm not going to be around for that week or the July 4th week.
Summer's hard.
Yeah.
How urgent is it for Laura?
I mean, I'm not sure that we want to put perennials in the middle of the summer. Probably better to plant them in the fall.
Right.
So I don't think that it is super urgent, but what I want to do is have a good plan for final subdivision for the planning board so that they can incorporate it into their approvals, in which case we'd be looking at like July 11th for the plan, not for the planting,
Mm.
but at least having a concept plan that we like.
Mhm.
So if it's July 11th.
I mean, the planning board can be general too and just say plan to be approved by tree council. Because we know we probably really don't want it planted until the fall, but
Well, are people around the week of July? You said you aren't July 4th, Amanda. What about July 11th?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm around.
So we'll try for that week.
yeah,
And
we can try
tell
for
the
that
planning
week.
Board that we're,
The planning board meeting is July 11th.
right. but
Yeah,
We'll tell
so-
them we're meeting that week.
Mhm.
and we'll Get it to them. And we'll see if we put that out, we can see if we can get other tree council members.
Yeah, and the other thing is like I can push him to come up with a plan that we can comment on kind of ahead of time too.
Yeah, that would be
And
helpful.
in the email and then go out and meet with him. Yeah, and still be working on it a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
we can do that.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so that was Kilt's Farm. Reports public outreach, we had our spring photo contest. Everybody here knows that because they were all on the public outreach. And I just saw the town supervisor and she said she was putting some of them up in her office, so that was nice. And you reached out to everybody. Sounded like the one mother was very pleased that both of her sons
Yeah.
won awards. Did you hear back from Carol also?
Yeah, she was very excited that her picture got. Did anybody pick up their gift cards?
All the reports are picked up.
Oh, they picked
Oh,
them.
great.
Yay!
That was quick because we just sent it out yesterday.
Yeah, so I made a certificate again, but I had to make it for spring because the other one was very fall oriented.
Okay.
So I made a bright, colorful spring certificate that said, "You're the winner," and then put that in a big envelope with the card. But it was so colorful because, like, the Target card had, I found one that had spring leaves and blossoms all over it.
Okay.
The co-op one is just generally colorful anyway, and then Uncle Rico's was like bright orange. So when I had them like spread out, it was like this rainbow of happiness.
Oh, that's,
So I like brought them over to the supervisor, and I was like, "Look!" I'm glad they picked them
Yeah.
up.
oh, that's
So-
great.
The fall photos we got end up being published in the Gazette. We try to do that with these two.
Oh yeah, we should.
Yeah. And can
Yeah,
you
that's
email
a great
me?
idea.
I did. Like I sent it to her. I'm gonna have to tell her. I mean, I did send it to her with announcing the winners,
Okay.
but she hasn't approved it yet.
Oh, okay. The town supervisor or the communicator?
The town supervisor.
Okay.
She approves anything we ever email blast just to make sure that
Sure.
we're not email blasting
Okay.
things that
Yeah.
we shouldn't.
Okay, so we'll try to get it back in the Gazette, and we'll do an email blast so the community knows.
That's a great idea.
The only other thing for the public outreach is we had talked about the great tree hunt, and then John had brought up about if we did a summer photo contest of people enjoying themselves and families under trees. So, I think I like all ideas. I'm going to try to focus a little bit on the tree master plan. That's kind of I want to try to get that back working on it again. So I'm up for those other two. It's just
Somebody else.
somebody else, yeah, if they could lead either of those. So, and if we want to do one or both, what are people's thoughts?
Well, in terms of the web page, it's easier to do one at a time because we have we got the free version of the plugin, so we can only do one contest at a time.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Um,
So what do people prefer? Would we rather do the Great Tree Hunt now or a summer photo contest? Or hold off on the summer because
Maybe we should take a break on photo contest
do a break
and do the tree hunt.
for the summer.
Yeah, maybe we could leave the tree hunt
Take a
open
break
for
on the photo
like 2
contest.
months or something,
Yeah.
and really let people collect their big trees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think we should probably even give a week or two before we announce it because we're still going to be pushing the results of the spring photo.
Right. I think
Yeah.
maybe, yeah, we
Maybe
do it in
like-
July or.
Yeah, release it like mid-July.
And I think we're decided like oaks, maples, and
Other.
other. Other's going to be a tough one because, like, how do you compare a old crabapple with an old elm or something?
I mean, I guess we could just do it by genus, and then anything that's submitted wins their genus.
Oops. I need to.
Oh, you can't hear Carol?
When you get too comfortable. you get a little lighter.
Exactly. These chairs are very comfortable. So we decided oak and maple, but what should we do? Should it just be those two, or should we do an other and then?
I mean, if we did an other and we got like crab apples and birch trees or something, like we could parse through the other.
What if we get a ton of other?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'd have to parse through them anyway.
We're not definitely giving awards. I mean, we're just giving them
The knowledge that they have the largest tree and that was measured in
right
on
that
this
was
unit.
submitted.
So, like to me, like if you got
A Dawn Redwood.
a
I
Dawn
could win in
Redwood,
that category if nobody else submits.
yeah,
Okay.
it could just be in its own genus, right? Because then we could just say you have the largest crab apple, you have the largest birch tree, like whatever. But I mean, probably people aren't going to measure them unless they're relatively big.
Yeah, and we just have can you resend out that one contest?
The Michigan tree hunt,
Yeah.
yes, it was very good.
Yeah, so that we can kind of copy that.
I think that one is so copyable.
Okay. Okay.
All we have to do is pretty much put our name on it.
So,
it's easier. Like New York State has a big tree hunt, but it has a lot of rules, and you have to explain diameter, breast height, and whatever. This is just like measure a tree, have fun, take a picture of yourself
Right.
in front of it, send it to us.
Yeah. Do people think that's a good idea? Amanda, do you have any comments? Are you good with that?
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I think we should go with that.
Okay. So that'll be our next
Or like with these,
public outreach.
One thought I'm having is with these, be good if we could do the photo contest, get going on them earlier, both for the fall and the
Yeah.
spring, with a little late.
Mhm.
And so if we're going to be doing this great tree hunt, the time that finishes, we're then going to be, oh, now we're getting late to get going on the fall photo contest.
maybe we could do a winter one.
Like skip the fall and go straight to winter, and then
Well,
do
we
winter
have
and
fall.
Because we
fall,
have done spring
Yeah.
and fall. Maybe we do
Mm.
winter and then next summer.
summer. Yeah, we do that. We'll be
Um,
ready to go.
And then we can make our calendar because we'll have
Yeah.
all the different
Yeah.
seasons.
Yeah, yeah.
And we can include pictures of the big trees too.
True.
Yeah.
True. And the other thing that we've talked about with public outreach, I mean, there's so much we can do with public outreach. It's just that we're all busy is, at one time Amy had said, or we were going to do some educational seminars.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
On pruning, caring for trees.
Yeah.
I don't really know what topics she felt comfortable presenting.
Yeah.
I went, I think that was with the Conservation Advisory Council on the lawn care at the one time, and the room was very full, and it was a very good presentation.
Oh, people, I'm sorry. People will come for those. They're very popular.
So, I mean, that's something else, but we don't want to get too over.
I had a conversation with our town supervisor about a month ago, and I just ran into in the street. She was taking a walk. She's talking about trying to create I'll describe it, like a monthly or whatever, like an informative session, have people come and talk about stuff.
Mhm.
And that would fit in with that, I think.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, creating some new program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just, I think what you're
Like
saying,
right
not just
now,
trees.
the people, can you guys hear
We
me?
can hear you.
Well, you're kind of going in and out.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, right now, people are seeing the tent caterpillars in their trees. And I'm wondering if that is something that could be addressed, by the tree council as, kind of like a informative talk or a lunch and learn. Not that I know what to do about it, but like people are asking, like, should you spray for it? Should you, spray your trees? Should you, what can you do? Or is there anything you can do? So I don't know. That's just like a current topic. I didn't know if that was something that could be.
Yeah, I actually feel we're a little late on
subject.
that, in that a lot of the damage has already been done, and you're supposed to put the duct tape around the trees before now. But I think having it at some point in
Okay.
time to prep people for next year
Mhm.
would be good. And I feel like we should have put something up on our website, but I didn't think of it. But I just know it's hitting certain communities really hard.
Yeah. We talked about it for like
Like-
15 minutes at our economic development committee with the town board. Like that's the most we've ever talked about trees with the town board. And it's because there's a lot of residents that are really concerned and they're reaching out to the town board and like, can you do something for my trees? And the town board is like, no.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah,
I
there's
think
certain
that
streets.
people are going to be really receptive to that information because there was so much damage to their trees, and I like setting out a timeline now. But I think even though we really missed the window for controlling them this season, I think people would come to a talk about it.
Yeah.
Right
But
now.
we'd have to find an expert.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking, and I'll reach out to him, is there's our regional DEC forester, Scott Moxham. I'm wondering if he can come down. And I mean, it could be short, but say like, here's the things to do to take care of your trees now that they're damaged. It's
Mhm.
probably not even
Yeah.
super useful to put out mass pesticides right now. They don't even work that well on caterpillars.
No, but the duct tape and.
But the duct tape is
working,
effective, and
and the-
controlling the egg sacs are effective. And when their caterpillars are pretty little, you can give them a virus. But we've missed the window on all three of those
Right,
things.
right.
So, but if people are interested now because the damage is here, we could have the talk and explain the timelines. And then we could put it on our calendars. Like, I feel like we should put it in our calendars now. Like in,
for
you
next
know,
year.
in March, let's do a thing. Like, go out and get your tape.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So-
know?
Isn't,
Yeah.
is it cyclical in terms of years? Is this going
It-
to
it-
wane?
It's cyclical, but they don't know, like, if it's gonna be for a third year. It was last year,
Yeah.
this year. And
So sometimes it's 3 years.
And,
Yeah.
and sometimes, if it's really damaged them the first 2 years, they're gonna
It'll
make it
kill
to
'em.
the third year.
Yeah.
It's a 10 to 15 year cycle, but that may change with climate change.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of times they can kill themselves off by killing the trees, which isn't what we want.
I did have Nick at the Arbor Day for the Schenectady Soil and Water. He had information about it. That he
Oh, and the
put out.
spongy, yeah, because
I
you
specifically asked him.
for the spongy mouth, because I
Yeah.
do remember you were saying in April we should tell people to get their tape, but I never got my act together. But April is when you are supposed to do the tape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
And you don't know if your tree is going to be affected or not.
Well,
right.
if it was
to
effective
be
this
honest.
year, though. So, because another thing why it might be good to have them come now is because you want to go around in the fall and scrape the egg sacs off, So, there's various times of year that you can be helpful.
Okay.
Like, you can go and find the egg sacs, they're fairly obvious, and you scrape them into soapy water. I learned something. Like, I was just scraping them off onto the ground because I figured that was enough. Apparently, they can just hatch right on the ground and keep going. So,
Mm.
you have to scrape them off into soapy water.
Yeah, see, that's good. to know.
Okay, yeah, I don't
Is
even
it
know what they
hitting
look
hard
like,
in
so that
East
would be, something to like let people know what to look for.
Right? Because I was like, there's one of those things. Scrape, 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 scrape. Okay, done.
Yeah.
It probably didn't even make a difference.
Is it hitting hard in this unit? Because I know in
Yes.
Glenville it is.
So
where people
apparently,
can't
like,
even go outside.
Ruffner and Rao, I think, are pretty bad.
Okay.
Really?
I know on the bike path.
Yeah,
A few
jade
do.
and
Yeah, I'm running
um,
around. I don't think I have any in my yard. I have a lot of trees, but I'm not
Really?
aware of them. They might be there. It's so wet. It's already walking.
So, I
in the
mean,
backyard.
I think people are so concerned about it. Like, the supervisor has been going out. She texted me where it was really bad. She said she was standing there and you could hear, like, the rain, like we were
Yeah.
talking about.
Exactly. You can hear that
yeah.
on the bike path
You can hear that on the bike path, too.
right by Lock 7,
Yeah.
Oh, Rose Hill.
Rose Hill. Okay.
Oh,
So, that's not that far from you.
no, it's not.
Okay.
and Jade Lane, which is pretty close to Town Hall.
Has bad.
That's bad.
My trees have it pretty bad, but they haven't been completely defoliated, and I feel really bad because I missed all the timelines.
Mhm.
And now I'm just hoping that they'll be okay because I like my trees.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, anything else, since we're all public outreach, anything else for the public outreach subcommittee?
Not from me.
No.
Okay, then the tree inventory, tree master plan. I think, Amanda, you're on that now also, right, with Chris and me? So I think that's one thing we should
Yeah,
start looking at.
okay.
Do you have a copy of it even? I have to go back.
I
and
do
look.
not.
Okay,
No, I don't.
okay. Because that's one thing that we've been talking about for a long time. and it
The
would be good
contractor
to-
that we hired keeps asking me
Yeah.
the status of it. I'm like,
So, so that's it from the tree inventory, tree master plan subcommittee and the tree planting. Do you know if the highway department has planted any spring trees?
They have not,
Okay.
and I'm trying to get them to pick up the trees that we planted that we bought last year. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but our arbor tree, the sourwood, died.
Hmm.
So I was hoping
Really?
that where
Oh.
Northern doesn't have any sourwoods, I asked because we're still trying to get the Raising Sun Redbud, which was our second Arbor
Oh,
Day
we
tree.
Still don't have that?
It's in.
Okay.
But I asked her if she could also put aside a sourwood, and she said that their sourwoods didn't leaf out well, the same as ours. So we planted 3. The 2 of them over there are a little bit iffy, but I think they'll be okay. I'm going to prune them and see if they'll make it. But the one out on the town green just died. It's completely dead. And it's got the little Arbor Day plaque in front of it.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
dead tree.
Aw.
So I asked Penny if she had sourwood, but she's not comfortable with the way that theirs leafed out. So then I was trying to get it from the island ones because we have to go and pick those trees up too. They don't have any. So I'm just gonna schedule the highway to pick up all those trees, but I still need a sourwood, and I would like to plant that immediately so that people aren't going up to a dead tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I know, I remember, maybe you were telling me this, like Collins Park, when they were doing the
Memorial
trees,
trees.
memorial trees, and then if they died, it was really problematic. I'm feeling it now. because We've got this nice plaque out there, and it's a dead tree.
Yeah, they had to replant it was their responsibility to replant if one of the memorial trees died. So,
So I was thinking of just trying, I mean, a couple other nurseries, but if you guys are out and about and you see sourwood, like call me. I don't care
Okay.
if it's really small. Like it can be small. I don't care. I just
Okay.
want a live tree out there. I can't find one right now.
and can we go to Northern? Is that something that the public can go to?
It's not really open to the public. It's wholesale,
Okay.
but they won't kick you out. And
Okay.
you
Mm.
can really, if you want to, buy a tree.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I was just curious. And we're still getting the elms in the fall.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're still looking for those places, and then we still have a fall budget for planting.
Yeah, has anybody thought of any places to plant? I know we brought that up at the last council call.
Yeah, Amy called me before this meeting and said she couldn't make it, but she's still trying to select places for the elms, and she's coming up with a list. She's been driving around town and marking down where she sees places.
Okay, and did you hear back from anyone to look at that tree on Regent?
Not the Regent tree. There were 2 that I sent to you before, and Amy looked at both of those.
Okay.
And I sent those. One of them was definitely a takedown. One of them was stop weed whacking it, and it might come back to life. So I sent the highway department those. But Regent, I don't think that the lady necessarily wants the tree taken down per se, but she definitely wants to talk to somebody about it.
I think Amy could do that at some
I
point
think
in
it's
time?
probably an Amy conversation.
Okay.
The lady's name is Amy. So it's
Okay.
a Amy to Amy conversation.
You talked about planting trees at that church on Balltown and Morrow.
Yeah, I still haven't reached out to them yet.
There's a fire hydrant on the Morrow side, which is where they remove trees on their property. So if there's a fire hydrant near Balltown, I suspect a water line goes down that whole right away.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about planting on the Balltown side though.
No, this is the Morrow side.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to look at utilities. Yeah.
But if the fire hydrant's there, there's a good chance there's the water line. Which
Yeah, the fire hydrants definitely indicate a water line. But
Yeah,
I mean,
may inhibit the planting of trees on that.
they're
yeah.
not, I mean, they're not always on the, I mean, they can have a longer like lead to get to the fire. I mean, the fire hydrant isn't always right on top of the main.
Right.
Yeah. So, but we do look.
There were trees on that lot for years and
But
years
they
and
were
years.
further in
and I
on the
think
lot. They're deeper in, out of the town right away.
More-
Well, I haven't even reached out to them to see
Yeah.
if they want trees, but I feel like if they want trees, we would probably be able to find a way. They might have to be small trees or shifted
why
for
are
the
we-
water line.
Why are we focusing on Balltown and Morrow?
Just because there were really big trees and it's
Okay.
kind of like the entrance into that neighborhood,
Okay.
and it's very bare now.
And somebody had mentioned where that, I think I mentioned this last time, where the veterinary hospital was on Balltown, that's now the apartments.
Oh yes.
Now, can street trees be planted there?
No,
Balltown.
because it's Balltown, but I can make him plant. He's talked to me about planting trees on his property, like private trees that'll look nice. So I just need to reach out to him again.
Okay, yeah, because there's nothing there, and I think that would add.
Yeah, well, and also a couple of the arborvitae died.
Okay,
Yeah, but he actually reached out to me and said, I'm ready, because we had said, I mean, I was like, can't you do something besides red maple? And he was like, I love red maple. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, even if it's red maple.
yeah.
Just
like
plant
some
something,
trees.
Yeah,
So he had said that he wanted to plant some red maples like along the Balltown Road on his property.
yeah,
That'd be fine.
Okay, yeah, so if you think of other places where, because we
Mhm.
have a fair number of elms we're gonna have to plant, so,
Mhm.
in town.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's everything. Does anybody have anything else that we didn't cover? Amanda?
No, not for
Okay.
me.
Do we want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yeah, I make a motion to adjourn.
You want
I'll second.
to? Okay, so, thanks, everyone. This is
Mhm.
kind of a short meeting. Good.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Amanda.
you.
All right.